Hello everyone. My classical intro that is not iconic whatsoever. Uh, Today I am going to talk. That's basically all. I'm going to discuss or explain something that I actually thought about. Is my microphone working properly? I can't even tell. I hope it is. Anyway, sorry if that was ear rape. Anyway. Is this better? Okay, no, that's gonna be way too rapey. Anyway, I keep getting off topic. So, basically, I'm going to talk about something when it comes that is quite important to remember when you draw in general, especially if you're trying to find your style or find a way to stylize things. I mean, in general, when you're drawing, just yeah. Um, and I'm gonna go over a mistake when it comes to that I did, only like what like a nearly entire year ago. I don't know. That I now understand a bit better. Basically, when I was like around a year ago is back when I drew very detailed drawings. Like I would draw a lot of details, especially when it comes to hair and stuff. And that isn't a very good idea considering it's gonna take forever, basically. And like, basically, if you want to be able to finish a drawing, most usually you'd want to make it so it doesn't take forever to do. Um, However, I did that all the time back then, and I rarely finished drawings. I mean, I still don't really finish drawings that often, but most of the time at least. I don't draw that often nowadays, actually, to be honest, but not proper drawings anyway. Anyway, back on topic. Um, so one good example, I have a very, very good example of where I did this mistake. From a drawing that was bit less than a year ago, and that is if I could get it there, this drawing. Um, yeah, as you can tell, it's like I started like where do I even start with this? I mean, this is like a fine sketch of a on top of a rough sketch, or it's a fine sketch, and as you can tell, I put a lot of detail into the wings, like it's ridiculously much, and then also like the halo, even though you can't really see too well because like the low resolution I have here, but let me just get a higher resolution real quick. Okay, I got a high resolution here so you can see better what I mean. Like, not to mention the resolution of his drawing. I know it's a bit laggy because it's so fucking big. It's like, what is it, like 8,000 pixels wide? That's a completely different thing, though, how big you make your drawings, but that makes things a lot more difficult. But anyway, you can see all the fucking details I added on the wings here, on both of them. I mean, even though I can mirror them, I hope I did. Otherwise, I don't know what my life was, but I mean, of course I did. Anyway. And the thing is, I put that much detail into the fine sketch. Yeah, school boredom, am I right? Anyway. And then, like, if that wasn't bad enough as it was already, I also decided that started ink it was also a good idea. Now you can't, now it's like, I can't never save things properly, but like, now I kind of made a fine sketch a bit too much like the inking layer, but I can't be bothered to fix that. Either way, you can kind of see where's like thinner lines is where the inking itself is. You can kind of see when you look closer. Anyway, and like on the halo, like look at this fucking shit. You can see like all the creases on the spikes in every single direction and everything. Like so much details, and I decided to try to ink it as well, which was a huge mistake as I never even finished this drawing. Surprise, surprise. I did not have enough motivation for that. And I suck when it comes to motivation, so yeah, I was surprised to even manage to get this far. Anyway, to my point here. I kind of redrew this drawing today, or well, I mean, I'm not finished with it yet. It's still just a sketch. It's a rough sketch still. Um, Whereas, like, well, of course, I haven't got into all the details yet, but, yeah, I'll just quickly show you it. It looks like this. Again, it's just a rough sketch, and I will probably fix some things because he looks like a fucking child. Anyway, of course, it's, again, as I said, this is a rough sketch, that's why the wings look very rough. Anyway, I'm not only gonna talk about the improvement here, but like, uh, again, this isn't a very good example considering that I haven't really gone into the part where I actually draw more detail. Okay, that's not how you do it. Anyway, as I was saying, no, stop doing that. Technical difficulties. Anyway, my point here is that I made a mistake here by putting way too much effort into it, especially when it was just a fine sketch. Because, like, this doesn't even look like a fine sketch. It looks like line art. It doesn't even look like it's supposed to be, that is not the finished result without color. Can I stop doing that, please? Jesus Christ. Anyway, like, it looks like it is the line art. Like, yeah, this could be the line art. And back then, that mere thought never even crossed my mind that I could just use this as the line art and then put in the color. Nowadays, usually I'm too lazy to even do line art this perfectly. Like, I was so much like, I would do a rough sketch that is like, yeah, rough sketch. And then I do the fine sketches, and then on top of the fine sketch, I would do the line art. Um, and the line art would be so perfect and so detailed and like perfect lines and everything. It didn't get to like really have any mistakes, and it had to be like basically perfect. Um, that's also another mistake. Because like again, this is all about efficiency. You want to be able to make a drawing that looks reasonable, but also be efficient. That like no one's gonna look this closely at the feathers and like, huh, look at the details of these feathers. It's like, and like, especially in the Halo, you would see all the, like, the wiring and the spikes in every single direction. You're not gonna pay attention to that when you look at this artwork. You're gonna look at it like this, and you're like, huh, okay. So, like, it doesn't even matter if you put the very tiny, perfect details in places. Like, it's not gonna be very noticeable. And therefore, you're just wasting your time. Um, but also then, of course, to, like, perfectionize the line art. Um, of course, you can do whatever you want with the line art, of course, but uh, in my opinion, anyway, and what I feel like is the most reasonable, you wouldn't want to put way too much effort into the line art either, because, like, to me, the point, as long as you like make the drawing, the line art of the drawing at least good enough, so you wouldn't notice any mistakes from distance, it's fine. It doesn't need to be perfect in every single curve. Like, no one's gonna care about this unless they look this closely, but barely anyone is gonna look that closely. Of course, you can do it a bit nicer than this, but anyway. So, like, that, and like, the thing is, my fine sketches back then were pretty much how I do line art nowadays. Yeah, again, I do it a bit neater than this, but like, I could have, in theory, used this as the line art and then just colored it, and that would have been done. Um, and it would have gone a lot quicker, and I perhaps might have even finished the drawing. Um, so like, there's a lot of saving time and motivation. But the thing is, that isn't the only problem about this. That isn't the only mistake I made about this. It's not just that I didn't finish it because of how much time it took. There's also another reason to why you don't want to do this, and that is because um, basically that's the entire part where this more I guess fun part comes in, or fun part. I don't know, but probably something you would care more about. So basically, you don't want to add this much detail to your drawings, not just because of the drawing's sake, but also the stylization. Because, like, as you can tell, ba- basically, if you add this much detail into the wings and the halo and the hair, it's not gonna fit in with the rest of the style. Like when you look at the outfit, it's very very simple, but like the wings and the halo is like extremely detailed. It's like it's not balanced. It looks weird because of that. It doesn't look like it's the same style whatsoever. If you're gonna like put this much detail into the feathers, you would do that. You would probably add every single like the thread of fabric in thread of thread in the fabric as well to even that out. But you're not gonna be bothered to do that, so I don't know why the hell I was bothered to do this. Again, this wasn't supposed to look fantastic. This wasn't meant to be a drawing that was gonna just look fantastic. Uh, the point of this was because I was very bored at school, but like I still feel like I need to address about that mistake. Um, 'Cause yeah, you need to like think about balance a lot, 'cause that's a thing I've realized recently. Um, with like when it comes to like basically anything in art, you want to balance it. You want to keep things balanced, the details and everything, so it's balanced out. Uh, I guess you can kind of tell on this design of him. I kind of redesigned him a bit, um, not too long ago. Considering he didn't have a lot of details back then, apart from like his wings, his hair, and his halo. I kind of also kind of added a few things that kind of are less simple, I guess. I mean, especially around his jacket, and so I don't know it really. Again, this is also about design, not just drawing, but like I found this like kind of balance where I draw like basically everything equally simplified or stylized, because that's what you want to do. You want to balance that out. Um, because like otherwise it's gonna look very unbalanced and it's gonna look patched up, almost like it's patched together basically with different styles, and you don't want that because it looks weird, basically. You want to, again, as I said this many times now, but you want to balance things out. That's what you would want to do with like anything when it comes to drawing, and that's a thing that I've been thinking about recently. And I came to the realization about something that I'm not completely sure if it adds up to everything, but basically, I thought that it's like it seems pretty possible that perfection actually isn't what we think it is. I feel like perfection, at least to me, is balance. Perfection is in fact balance, because it adds mostly up to art. Uh, with here, like you want to make the wings perfect, you need to balance them out with everything else. And then it will be perfect if everything is balanced. It doesn't matter if like things, like yeah, and yeah, basically perfection to me is just balance. You want to balance things out, and then it will be perfect. You want to like, and that adds up for basically everything when it comes to like drawing, graphics, visual graphics. Okay. Anyway, like color schemes, drawing, efficiency, designing, like everything. You just want it to be balanced, and then it's perfect. And also with like character creation, you want them to have a balanced amount, or about balanced amount of flaws and good things, good traits, and then they will be perfect because they are perfectly normal. That just sounds boring, but you get what I mean. Uh, at least that's my opinion about it. I don't know. Again, as I said, I don't know how correct I am about that, but I feel like that's perfection for me anyway. Uh, yeah. And reality, it's a bit different. It's a bit complicated to explain, but yeah. The weird thing about art, though, that is the thing that I didn't quite understand back then, that I still don't quite understand, that is kind of weird, it's difficult to explain, is about how you want to balance things, but you still also want some things to stand out. Like, for an example, you want the attention to be brought around his head because that is like the focal point of him. Uh, I mean, of course, the wings are kind of very distracting, but that's just this drawing. Anyway, it's a very good example, but like, you want to, when you want certain things to stand out about someone or something, but you also need to not to make them stand out too much so that they don't look like they fit in with everything else. So again, again, yet again, balance. We need more balance. You would need balance with that. You need to find a balance between like color schemes and how you stylize things, how you design things, and everything. So like, and then if you manage to do that, that is perfection. Yeah, and that is pretty much what I wanted to say. I don't know how helpful this entire thing was, but uh, thanks for listening, I guess.